I remember a few Octobers ago on this one Saturday afternoon when I woke up from this well-needed nap that slapped harder than that handshake you get from that one guy that needs the biggest favor from you. And after wiping off all that dried up saliva on my face and got rid of all my eye boogers, I jumped out of bed and quickly received a friendly reminder from my stomach that,
yo, my dude, it's about that time.
And as I walked out the room and passed through the passage on my way to sit on the sacred, almighty, and blessed ceramic throne, I stopped for a bit as I waited for my Bluetooth speakers to pair to my phone, walked a little further while going through my playlist to select a song befitting of the crucial nature call I was about to partake in, passed by my sister's slightly open door, and overheard the echoes of a heartfelt conversation rooted in complete honesty and vulnerability. My sister was hanging out with one of my cousins that was over at the crib for a weekend visit, and as I walked further down the hallway, the echoes faded into an awkward silence, so I decided to ignore it and press play on that new Tory Lanez to get my mood right.
Please, no more parties in the layout.
I stopped eavesdropping and walked past the muffled and barely audible discourse between them until I heard my cousin say,
You know, I'm not gonna lie to you, I like my mom and all. You know, she's always been there for me and tried her best to be super mom. But spending the weekend here triggered something in me that made me realize that even though I don't think about it that often, I really do wish I had my pops in my life, you know?
Somebody pray for me.
I never expected this, but after completing my accounting and finance degree and currently waiting on graduation this December, I can confidently say that the period between your last exams at uni and getting your first job is straight. It makes me reminisce about how simple life was after my high school exams. I mean, we played FIFA all day, never missed a Premier League game, and graduated as valedictorian from Couch Potato Academy looking at all the TV shows I binged watched, and not once did my future ever stress me out. It's been over 6 years since, and even though you could say I deserve an applause for finally attaining my bachelor's, part of me can't help but feel like I've regressed back to the living situation I tried my hardest to run away from back in 2016 when I was broke, unemployed, and stuck doing chores at my parents' house. I'm not sure if it's solely because of experience and maturity, but at some point in your life you really can't carry on living in oblivion and ignore the fact that most of the times your best thinking got you exactly where you are and is the reason why you're stuck in life. A wise man once said,
Pain is real and comfort is prison.
If you're out partying every weekend, you're either really good at what you do and celebrating your wins for the week,
or your life just sucks.
Looking at my mom's side, I'm my grandmother's only grandson, which meant that I grew up around a lot of women. And one of the things that fascinated me the most was that if a girl was going through it and felt like she'll probably go out, splurge a little bit, get some comfort food, and stay in bed all day going back and forth between reality TV and TikTok. And by the end of the day, she'll miraculously feel way better.
They're like, yo, how the fuck do y'all do that, bro? I mean, every time I do that, I end up feeling worse.
As a man, to feel good about yourself and avoid feeling like a loser, you have to put in the work. You've got way too much testosterone flowing through your veins to be sitting around doing nothing all day, because that's how you end up depressed. You have to find a way to exert your masculinity and validate your manhood somehow, and it's usually by either taking your bullshit out on other people, which tends to manifest itself through weekend bar fights, trying to f any woman who looks halfway decent with a pulse, or my personal favorite, chasing success. For a long time as a kid, I never quite understood how older men in the grandpa phase of life could go to the cattle post and spend the whole weekend sitting under the shade, just staring at the herd of cattle roaming around in the hundreds, sometimes thousands, and find so much joy and fulfillment from that. But I failed to recognize that it all symbolized and represented the hard work, patience, and dedication they put into amass the livestock that they have to their name today. I remember back when I was still in primary school and was on my way driving to the farm with my pops. I was probably around 10 at the time. I remember going off talking about some other guy's personal business, gossiping like a little bitch. And I'll never forget the look my dad gave me that made me shut up and look straight ahead at the road while soaking in all that shame. And minutes later he broke the silence and told me that,
yo, big brother, all that gossiping you're doing is a woman thing. Men don't do that.
And ever since then, I've always avoided doing that and found it cringe as f listening to a grown man talking about another grown man's personal business. My pops was never really the type to talk a lot, but I did learn a lot from him in silence from a distance, just watching how he moved. I mean, even my little sister picked up on it and said some shit to me a while back that blew my mind. I'm not sure what exactly it was that we were talking about, but I remember she cut me off mid-conversation and said,
When I you're just like that, right?
And I said,
Alright, gang.
And she said,
You're so stubborn. When it below West, cause of baby.
I truly believe that every child growing up needs a healthy dose of tough love from a father figure, and I'm glad I had my pops in my life who was there to give that to me. I'm almost a quarter century, and growing up around my pops made me realize that 80% of being a man involves getting shit done, and that men don't cry when times get tough. Instead, we sweat our tears out while working even harder trying to figure shit out. And of course, there's a lot that my pops and I don't see eye to eye on, and there have been times where I felt like,
you know what? Man, fuck this nigga.
But I'm sure there's some shit about me that he doesn't like either, and could easily point out and be like,
man, fuck you too, little nigga.
So I guess it all balances out, and it's just a part of life.
Why are we still